I was in shock. I was getting ready to go shopping, and they told me I had to go to a meeting, and I told them I was not going to the meeting, I was going shopping. Bobby said, Dino is having a meeting and you need to be there. I said, okay. So I went begrudgingly. He said, we got to sit on the front row. And I thought, why in the world do we have to sit on the front row? So I sat on the front row and they started reading that off, and I said, that sounds like Betty Shipman making the hamburger buns and the pizza and all that. And Bobby said, I can't believe you recognized they was talking about you. And I said, well, I was just a helper back then. And she kept on and said I'd been there, I forget how many years. And then I thought, they're talking about me. And so when they called my name, I was very surprised, but very pleased. My grandfather was a farmer, my dad was a farmer, and he passed away, and we just kind of inherited it and been farming ever since. My first memory of Farm Bureau, my dad passed away at a Farm Bureau convention in 1979 that left an impression, and the people that took care of my mom and my dad while he was in Florida. Well, I'm married and I had 2 kids, a boy and a girl. They helped on the farm for years, but then they got married and moved on to different things and left us. Well, my husband and I are involved in the Chicot County, and we started going to the state meetings and the national meetings, and it just evolved from that I got to meet a lot of the Farm Bureau people, and we just made a connection. Betty Shipman asked me if I would help her. I told her I'd try for a little while, and that was in '79, and I've been there ever since. I can't get anybody to take over for me. Mostly with the Farm Bureau Women's Committee, we made hamburgers. Farm Bureau came down and cooked hamburgers for the school, and Betty made a hamburger patty with meat and tomatoes and lettuce, and we told the hamburger story where everything came from. And we made pizza and showed where the wheat and wheat and flour made the dough and the ingredients that went on it. So that was interesting to the kids. I guess some of the highlights was the books that I read to the schools. We made ice cream out of Ziploc bags, and the kids really enjoyed that. They don't know about a farm. If their father doesn't work on a farm, they have no idea what goes on in the farm. I think milk comes from the grocery store. It was something they didn't think about, coming from a farm. I think teaching the kids about farm products and where their groceries and stuff come from has been helpful and appreciative. It just takes a little bit of time, of your time, but it's worth it. I had a lady at Lakeside where I carried the backpack program. She said one of the students came by and said, tell them we so appreciate that. Said we have something to eat on the weekend. Just melt your heart. Yeah. Call me, I think Harry Willems is the one that called me, wanted to know if I would be willing to serve. I told him, Harry, I don't know anything about the state, and I said, I just don't know I can do it. And he said, yeah, you can do it. So I did it more or less to please him to start with. And then I moved on to vice president for 2 years, and then I served as president for 2 years. So then I really got to meet a lot of the Farm Bureau board and the personnel. Well, I would just say that being on the state board has so many advantages. You get to meet so many people and you learn more about their lifestyle and what's going on in their county. And they give you ideas what you can do in your county and things like that. I just wanted to help promote farmers, let people know about Farm Bureau. It's not just an insurance company. Everybody thinks Farm Bureau is just insurance, but we spread the word that it's more than that. Everybody needs to be involved, not just be on a committee, but you need to be involved and know what's going on in your county and be a part of it. And farming is precious to me. Tilling the soil, the smell of the ground turned over, seeing crops grow is just amazing. God is so good.